What's up, guys? Rightio, so I'm sure that most people have either heard of or eaten spaghetti bolognese before. So what I've got today is a back to basics sort of recipe. There's very many variations on your spaghetti bolognese, but I think I've got a very traditional recipe. It's super simple, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to make this by yourself at home to get that real sort of authentic Italian taste. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you guys for watching.
Rightio people, grab a very large pan, whack it onto a high heat and just let it heat up, and we're going to stick in a little bit of oil followed by one large onion that we've diced up, and to this onion we're just going to fry 3 to 4 cloves of garlic that we've also diced up. So the smell should be very aromatic, very nice, and we're just going to fry these off lightly until they go nice and translucent, and also we're going to stick in a little bit of salt and pepper at the end just to taste things up before we stick into our in our meat. Once we have our onions all nice and translucent, we're going to stick in our mince. Now I've used a lot of mince here. This will feed roughly around 6 people, so you might want to cut down on the mince. I've used around 1 kilo of mince, so chuck in maybe 500 grams or 800 grams of mince, and we're just going to cook it. There's nothing too hard that we're going to do. It's just going to cook it until there's no pink left in the meat, and we're going to add in our tomatoes later. But we just want to salt our meat. We don't want it to taste bland. We're just going to salt it before we stick in 2 cans of tinned tomatoes. You might want to go for a third if you want to stretch it a little bit further. So with our tomatoes, we're just going to mix it all in, and to this we also can stick in 2 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. It's optional, and if you don't have tomato paste, stick in a little bit of tomato sauce. It'll help with the richness of the flavours. So we're just going to let this all sort of simmer away. We're going to add in 2 bay leaves. This will cook throughout the whole thing, give it a really nice flavour. And we'll just, like I said, let it simmer away until it thickens. We can also add in 1 carrot that we've diced up. You can also add in celery if you feel like it. You can pretty much add really much anything, but I've told you that I'm going to keep it nice and basic. So carrot is all going to go with, and we're just going to let it simmer over a medium heat until the liquid starts evaporating and we get a nice, really rich sauce. While we're waiting for our sauce to thicken and reduce down, we're going to cook our pasta. So I've got a large pot of boiling water. Chucked a bit of salt in, and we're going to stick in our pasta. Now I've just got straight spaghetti. A little tricky, I don't know where I picked it up from. Grab your spaghetti that you intend to cook in both hands and then twist oppositely so you can coil the spaghetti. Don't twist too hard or you'll break it. And then just drop it into the water, and you'll see that it'll spread out into this nice circular pattern. And this will just allow the spaghetti to enter the water slowly, nice and evenly, so you don't have bits sticking up and worrying about spaghetti not cooking properly. And it looks cool. So we're just going to put our lid on into our pasta, and just going to follow the instructions on your pasta for cooking times. Normally they're done in around 13, sort of 15 minutes. So just keep an eye on them, and they should be ready at the same time as your sauce is ready. You can see our sauce is really reduced down. It's nice and thick, and you can see there's not too much of that watery stuff. It's quite a dense tomatoey meat sauce, which is what we're after, and it smells absolutely fantastic. Now at this point you can do a few things. You can stick in any fresh herbs out of the garden. You don't stick them in earlier, you stick them in now because they're a lot more fragrant and they haven't had time to lose all their flavour. So stick them in now, and also I would like to stick in a dash of balsamic vinegar. It'll add a nice sweetness to it, and it pairs very nicely with the tomato flavour. So stick a dash of that in if you've got it. You don't have to. Mix it around, and it's ready for serving. Now we're just going to check on our pasta. Right, so it's been around 15 minutes. We want to check if our pasta's cooked. So grab out a pasta, careful not to burn your fingers off, and simply just bite into it. Now you're after this al dente. I'm sure you guys have heard of it before, but you want a firm to bite. Essentially that's what it means. but you don't want to crunch. So if it's got a crunch, it needs to go back in. But if it's al dente, then bring it out. You don't want to overcook them either; they go into a bit of a mush. Now we're just going to drain them into a colander, but be sure to keep a little bit of the water that we've cooked our pasta in. I'll tell you why later. So just drain most of our water out, and then put a tablespoon of butter into our pot that we've had our spaghetti cooking in. This will just put a nice oil to our pasta when we put it back in. And put our pasta back into our pot, mix it around so it's coated nicely with a nice oily buttery flavour. And also stick in a little bit of the water that we've saved. Now the water that we've saved has got starch that we've boiled out of our pasta. Now the starch will help keep the pasta loose, and it'll also help the sauce stick to the pasta. So these are two crucial things that you need to focus on. So once you've done that, everything's ready to serve up. So whack on a serving size of pasta, top it with your meat sauce, and there you have it. You've got some very, very basic spaghetti bolognese. Lots of variations you can do to it, but this is what I've done, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's super easy to make, and I thank everyone for watching.